Hello, good afternoon. Just thought I'd make this video quick. I was asked about this recently, and I decided, well, no better time than the present. I know it's might sound like a bit of old news by now, with President Trump having been here a couple weeks ago, was diagnosed with COVID and his overcoming it. And I'm very thankful that he has. He had some amazing care at Walter Reed, and the fact that he was willing to try some new medication that's somewhat may have been considered experimental. He wanted to try it and see if it worked, and obviously it has helped and worked for him. He's last I heard, he had had a couple negative tests, so I'm very thankful, and had been praying for him myself, him and Melania, Kayleigh McEnany, and the rest, anybody in his staff that had contracted it. But the president had talked about, besides just the new medication, these new medications that he was taking, he has been praising hydroxychloroquine, zinc, azithromycin, vitamin D, and a bunch of different things, that just supplements and stuff to take, that he's been taking as well, that helped to aid his recovery. Now, some of you may know, I had COVID back in April, and I was out of work. It knocked me out of work for about a week and a half. I actually spent a night in the hospital because of it. And while I was in the hospital, I was given, I think, 2 doses of the hydroxychloroquine, and they started me on zinc. I was also on the antibiotic, I think it was azithromycin, and another bunch of other supplements. Vitamin D was another. And after I got out of the hospital, 2 of the things that I started taking, I finished out the antibiotic, and then I also kept taking the zinc and the vitamin D. And I tell you what, I had a relatively quick turnaround. When President Trump, shortly, either right before he got out of the hospital or right after, he had made the statement, "I feel better than I have in 20. This is the best I felt in 20 years." Now, for me personally, and this was a few days before I went back to work, I felt amazing. I felt the best I had, and this was no joke. This is how I felt. Excuse me. The best I had felt in 20 years. And when I got hit with COVID, one of the symptoms was no appetite. I was never hungry. I actually had to force myself to eat. I would drink a lot of fluids. I drank a lot of water, a lot of Gatorade. I actually lost almost 20 pounds during that time. And a lot of it was just the fact that I was thirsty, but I was never hungry. To give you an example, my fiance Melissa and my daughter and I, we like getting sandwiches from like Jimmy John's every so often. And every once in a while, I get the big, and I normally, when I go there, I get the big sandwich. I think it's like a 16-inch sandwich. But what I do, especially with me in the truck, working in the truck, driving truck, I eat one half, put the other half in the fridge of the truck, have it later. Well, during that time, when my appetite went south, when I had no appetite, I could make one of those I made one of those sandwiches into 4 meals. So it was like a half was filling for me at the time. So when President Trump was saying, "I feel better than I have in 20 years, it's the best I felt in 20 years," I believed it because I experienced it for myself. So, I'm happy to see him back out on the campaign trail. I'm happy to see he's got his energy back, and I've already cast my vote. I voted for him this past Thursday. I usually vote absentee or vote early because with work, sometimes it's kind of hit or miss because I work overnights, and it's hard for me sometimes to get, because when I'm up during the day, I usually have a lot of stuff going on. So it's kind of hard for me to get around to get over to do that with my schedule. So we went and voted already, but I wanted to share that about what the president had said. Like he said, best he'd felt in 20 years. I know exactly what he meant because I felt it myself. Take care, everybody. God bless. Trump 2020.